Who is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex? Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, born Rachel Meghan Markle, August 4, 1981, is an American member of the British royal family and former actress. She is the wife of Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, the younger son of King Charles Roman III. Meghan was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Her acting career began at Northwestern University. Her last and most significant screen role was that of Rachel Zane for 7 seasons, 20,112,018 in the American TV legal drama Suits. She also developed a social media presence. This included the TIG 20,142,017 lifestyle blog, which garnered recognition for her fashion sense and led to the creation and release of 2 clothing lines in 20,152,016. During the TIG period, Meghan became involved in charity work focused primarily on women's issues and social justice. She was married to American film producer Trevor Ingelson from 2011 until their divorce in 2013. Meghan retired from acting upon her marriage to Prince Harry in 2018 and became known as the Duchess of Sussex. They have 2 children, Archie and Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor. In January 2020, the pair stepped down as working royals and later settled in California. In October 2020, they launched Archuel Inc., an American public organization that focuses on nonprofit activities and creative media ventures. In the following years, she released a picture book for children, The Bench, and launched a Spotify podcast, Archetypes. Meghan and Harry filmed a highly publicized interview with Oprah Winfrey, which was broadcast in March 2021. Early life and education. Rachel Meghan Markle was born on August 4, 1981, at West Park Hospital in Canoga Park, Los Angeles, California. She identifies as mixed race, often answering questions about her background with "My dad is Caucasian and my mom is African American. I'm half black and half white." Her parents separated when she was 2 years old and divorced 4 years later. Markle's father, Thomas Markle Sr., born 1944, is an Emmy Award-winning television lighting director and director of photography. Notably, he worked as a director of photography and lighting for General Hospital and Married with Children, and Meghan occasionally visited the set of Married with Children as a child. Meghan is now estranged from her father and paternal half-siblings, Samantha Markle and Thomas Markle Jr. She has a close relationship with her mother, Doria Ragland, born 1956. Growing up in Los Angeles, Markle attended Hollywood Little Red Schoolhouse. At age 11, she and her classmates wrote to Procter & Gamble to gender-neutralize a dishwashing soap commercial on national television. She was raised as a Protestant but graduated from Les Immaculate Heart High School, an all-girl Catholic school. Markle took part in plays and musicals at the school, where her father helped with lighting. During her teenage years, she worked at a local frozen yogurt shop and later as a waitress and babysitter. She also volunteered at a soup kitchen in Skid Row, Los Angeles. In 1999, she was admitted to Northwestern University in New Evanston, Illinois, where she joined Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority. With other members of Kappa Kappa Gamma, Meghan did volunteer work with the Glass Slipper Project. After her junior year, she secured an internship as a junior press officer at the American Embassy in Buenos Aires with the help of her uncle Michael Markle, and considered a political career. However, she did not score high enough in the Foreign Service Officer test to proceed further with the U.S. State Department and returned to NU. She also attended a study abroad program in Madrid. In 2003, Markle earned her bachelor's degree with a double major in theater and international studies from Northwestern's School of Communication. Acting career. According to Markle, She had some difficulty getting roles early in her career due to being ethnically ambiguous because I wasn't black enough for the black roles and I wasn't white enough for the white ones. To support herself between acting jobs, she worked as a freelance calligrapher and taught bookbinding. Her first on-screen appearance was a small role as a nurse in an episode of the daytime soap opera General Hospital, a show for which her father served as a lighting director. Markle had small guest roles on the television shows Century City 2004, The War at Home 2006 and CSI, NY 2006. For her role in Century City, she told the casting directors that she was a SAG after member when she was not, but after being cast the employers were obliged to help her join the union according to the Taft-Hartley Act. Markle also did several contract acting and modeling jobs. Between 2006 and 2007, she worked as a briefcase girl on 34 episodes of the U.S. version of the game show Deal or No Deal. She appeared in Fox's series Fringe as junior agent Amy Jessup in the first 2 episodes of its second season. Markle appeared in small roles in the films Get Him to the Greek, Remember Me produced by her then partner Trevor Ingelson, and The Candidate in 2010 and the film Horrible Bosses in 2011. She was paid $87,000 for her role in Remember Me and $71,429 for her role in the short film The Candidate. In July 2011, she joined the cast of the USA Network show Suits through to late 2017 and the 7th season. Her character, Rachel Zane, began as a paralegal and eventually became an attorney. While working on Suits, she lived for 9 months each year in Toronto. Fortune magazine estimated that she was paid 0 per episode, amounting to an equivalent annual salary of $50,000. Personal life. Early relationships and first marriage. Markle and American film producer Trevor Ingelson began dating in 2004. They were married in Ocho Rios, Jamaica on September 10, 2011. They separated after approximately 18 months and concluded a no-fault divorce in August 2013, citing irreconcilable differences. Markle's subsequent live-in relationship with Canadian celebrity chef and restaurateur Corey Vitiello ended in May 2016 after almost 2 years. Second marriage and motherhood. In July 2016, Markle began a relationship with Prince Harry, a grandson of Queen Elizabeth Roman II. In November, the prince directed his communications secretary to release a statement on his behalf to express personal concern about pejorative and false comments made about his girlfriend by mainstream media and internet trolls. Later on, in a letter to a British media regulator, Markle's representatives complained about the harassment from journalists. In September 2017, Markle and Prince Harry first appeared together in public in Toronto at the Invictus Games, of which Harry is founding patron. Meghan Markle's engagement to Prince Harry was announced on November 27, 2017 by Harry's father Charles Roman III, then the Prince of Wales. The announcement was greeted with enthusiasm by the British media and prompted generally positive comments about having a mixed-race person as a member of the royal family, especially in regard to Commonwealth countries with populations of blended or native ancestry. Markle announced that she would retire from acting and her intention to become a British citizen. In preparation for the wedding, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, baptized Markle and confirmed her into the Church of England on March 6, 2018. The private ceremony, performed with water from the River Jordan, took place in the Chapel Royal at St. James's Palace. The marriage ceremony was held on May 19 at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. Her wedding dress was designed by the British designer Claire Waite Keller. Markle later revealed that there was a private exchange of vows 3 days before with the Archbishop of Canterbury in the couple's garden. However, this private exchange of vows was not an official legally recognized marriage. It was reportedly agreed in advance that excess funds generated from the BBC broadcast of the wedding ceremony would go to a charity chosen by the newlywed couple. In April 2020, Feeding Britain, which provides food packages to families in food poverty, was nominated to receive £90,000 from the BBC after the wedding. The Duke and Duchess lived at Nottingham Cottage within the grounds of Kensington Palace in London. They later moved to Frogmore Cottage in the home park of Windsor Castle. The Crown Estate refurbished the cottage at a cost of £2 4 million, paid out of the sovereign grant, with the Duke later reimbursing expenses beyond restoration and ordinary maintenance. Meghan gave birth to a son, Archie Mountbatten Windsor, on May 6, 2019. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's office moved to Buckingham Palace and officially closed on March 31, 2020, when the Sussexes withdrew from undertaking official royal engagements. After some months in Canada and the United States, the couple bought a house in June 2020 on the former estate of Riven Rock in Montecito, California, where they own a chicken coop with hens rescued from a factory farm. The next month, Meghan suffered a miscarriage. She gave birth to a daughter, Lilibet Mountbatten Windsor, on June 4, 2021. The Duke and Duchess own a Labrador named Pula and two beagles named Guy and Mamma Maya. Meghan previously owned a Labrador German Shepherd cross named Bogart, which was rehomed with a friend in Canada due to its inability to travel as a result of old age. Political views. Members of the British royal family are politically neutral by convention. However, Markle was politically vocal before marrying Prince Harry. At age 10, she and her friends reportedly campaigned against the Gulf War. Decades later, she backed Hillary Clinton during the 2016 United States presidential election and publicly denounced the opponent and eventual winner, Donald Trump. In the same year, when the referendum on the United Kingdom's membership of the European Union resulted in favor of Brexit, Markle expressed her disappointment on Instagram. In 2017, Markle recommended the book Who Rules the World by left-wing intellectual Noam Chomsky on her Instagram account. Meghan married Prince Harry in May 2018. In July 2018, Irish Senator Catherine Nolan tweeted that the Duchess was pleased to see the result of the Irish referendum on legalizing abortion. Meghan received criticism for potentially breaching the protocol that prohibits royals from interfering in politics. Nolan deleted her tweet and emphasized that her statement was misleading and the Duchess was not in any way political. After she returned to the United States and as an eligible voter, she released a video with her husband encouraging others to register for the 2020 United States presidential election on National Voter Registration Day. Some media outlets took it as an implicit endorsement of the Democratic candidate Joe Biden, which prompted then-President Trump to dismiss their messaging at a press conference. In October 2021, she penned an open letter to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, advocating for paid leave for parents. Her remarks were met by backlash from Republican Representatives Jason Smith and Lisa McClain, who found her statement out of touch and criticized her interference with American politics while utilizing her British royal titles. Meghan has reportedly lobbied senators from both parties on the issue of paid family leave, including Democratic Senators Patty Murray and Kirsten Gillibrand, as well as Republican Senators Shelley Moore Capito and Susan Collins. She has also publicly spoken in support of federal voting protections. In February 2022, she voiced her support for the Supreme Court nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson, stating Judge Jackson's nomination has opened new ground for women's representation at the highest level of a judicial system that for too long has tilted against the very community she hails from. In June 2022, she publicly supported Moms Demand Action, an organization which campaigns for safer gun laws in the U.S. In the same month, in an interview with Jessica Yellen for Vogue, Meghan criticized the Supreme Court of the United States' decision that abortion is not a protected constitutional right, and voiced her support for the proposed Equal Rights Amendment. Meghan also voted in the 2022 United States elections. Public life. Royal duties. After becoming engaged, Markle's first official public appearance with Prince Harry was at a World AIDS Day walkabout in Nottingham on December 1, 2017. On March 12, the 2018 Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey was the first royal event she attended with the Queen. On March 23, Harry and Meghan made an unannounced day visit to Northern Ireland. In total, Markle attended 26 public engagements prior to the wedding. Meghan's first official engagement after marriage was on May 22, when she and her husband attended a garden party celebrating the charity work of Charles Roman III, then Prince of Wales. In July 2018, Meghan's first official trip abroad as a royal was to Dublin, Ireland, alongside Harry. In October 2018, the Duke and Duchess travelled to Sydney, Australia for the 2018 Invictus Games. This formed part of a Pacific tour that included Australia, Fiji, Tonga, and New Zealand. As representatives of the Queen, the couple were greeted warmly by crowds in Sydney, and the announcement of Meghan's pregnancy hours after their arrival delighted the public and media. During their visit to Morocco in February 2019, the Duke and Duchess focused on projects centered on women's empowerment, girls' education, inclusivity, and encouragement of social entrepreneurship. Meghan also participated in her husband's work as youth ambassador to the Commonwealth, which included overseas tours. As part of establishing a separate office from Kensington Palace in 2019, the Duke and Duchess created an Instagram social media account, which broke the record for the fastest account at the time to reach 1 million followers. In July 2019, the Duchess's security team were criticized for creating an empty zone of about 40 seats around her at Wimbledon, where she was watching a match between Serena Williams and Kaja Juvan. In August 2019, Meghan and her husband were criticized by environmental campaigners for using private jets regularly when taking their personal trips abroad, which would leave more carbon footprint per person compared to commercial planes. The criticism was in line with similar criticism faced by the royal family in June 2019, after it was claimed that they had doubled their carbon footprint from business travel. In September and October 2019, a Southern African tour included Malawi, Angola, South Africa, and Botswana. Archie traveled with his parents, making it their first official tour as a family. Stepping back. In January 2020, Meghan and Harry returned to the UK from a vacation in Canada and announced that they were stepping back from their role as senior members of the royal family and would balance their time between the United Kingdom and North America. A statement released by the palace confirmed that the Duke and Duchess were to cease to undertake royal duties as representatives of the Queen and would therefore no longer receive the relevant financial support. The couple would retain their HRH styles but not use them. The formal role of the Duke and Duchess was subject to a 12-month review period, ending in March 2021. Meghan's final solo engagement as a senior royal was a visit to Robert Clack School on March 7, 2020 in Dagenham ahead of International Women's Day. She and Harry attended the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey on March 9, 2020, which was their last engagement as a couple before they officially stepped down on March 31. 2 years later, they made their first official appearance in the UK in June 2022 while attending the Platinum Jubilee National Service of Thanksgiving. They visited the UK and Germany in September 2022 2022 for a number of charity events in Manchester and Dusseldorf. On September 8, 2022, while Meghan and Harry were in London preparing to attend a charity event, Queen Elizabeth II died at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. The couple chose not to attend the charity event that night, with Meghan staying in London and her husband travelling to Balmoral. On September 10, 2022, the Prince and Princess of Wales were joined by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex at Windsor to view the tributes to the Queen and spent time talking to the crowds. This was the first time since March 2020 that the two couples had been seen together. Further career and investments. In summer 2019, before announcing their decision to step down in January 2020, Meghan and her husband were involved in talks with Jeffrey Katzenberg, the founder of the now-defunct streaming platform Quibi, over a possible role in the service without gaining personal profits, but they eventually decided against joining the project. In September 2019, it was reported that the couple had hired New York-based PR firm Sunshine Sachs, which represented them until 2022. In June 2020, they signed with the Harry Walker Agency, owned by media company Endeavour, to conduct paid public speaking engagements. In September 2020, the Sussexes signed a private commercial deal with Netflix to develop scripted and unscripted series, film, documentaries, and children programming for the streaming service. In October 2020, the couple hosted a special episode of Time 100 Talks, with the theme being on engineering a better world. In December 2020, it was announced that Meghan had invested in Clever Blends, a coffee company based in Southern California. In the same month, Meghan and Harry signed a multi-year deal with Spotify to produce and host their own programs through their audio producing company, Archuel Audio. A holiday special was released by the couple on the service in December 2020, while Meghan's podcast, titled Archetypes, premiered in August 2022. The Bench, a picture book written by Meghan, was published in June 2021 by Random House Children's Books. It is based on her perception of the relationship between her husband and their son. The book received a mixed response. It garnered praise for its illustrations and messaging, but was criticized for its structure and writing. Following its release, Meghan, alongside Archuel, donated 2,000 copies of The Bench to libraries, schools, and other nonprofit programs across the United States. On June 17, the book reached #1 on the children's picture books category of the New York Times bestseller list. In July 2021, it was announced that Meghan would executive produce, alongside David Furnish, a Netflix animated series called Pearl. The series was originally pitched to Netflix in 2018. Pearl would depict the adventures of a 12-year-old girl who is inspired by influential women from history, but the project was cancelled in May 2022. In the same month, it was reported that Meghan and Harry had signed a 4-book publishing deal that includes a wellness guide by Meghan and a memoir by Harry. In September 2021, Meghan and Harry went to New York, where they visited the 9/11 memorial with New York Governor Kathy Hochul and New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, and held meetings with the UN Deputy Secretary General Amina J. Mohammed and the U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield. In October 2021, Meghan and Harry announced their partnership with Ethic, a sustainable investment firm based in New York City, which also manages the couple's investments. According to state filings from Delaware, where the couple's Archuel Foundation is registered, Meghan and Harry incorporated 11 companies and a trust beginning in early 2020, which include Orinoco Publishing LLC and Pekka Publishing LLC to hold the rights for their books, as well as Cobblestone Lay. Frim Fram Inc., which ran the TIG, had been registered earlier as a new corporation in Delaware in December 2019. An untitled docuseries about the Sussexes is being produced by Netflix and the couple's Archuel Productions. It is directed by Liz Garbus. It was originally intended to be broadcast in December 2022, but was delayed following the negative reaction to Series 5 of Netflix's The Crown. It has been partially filmed at the couple's Montecito home. Meghan said of the docuseries that it was nice to be able to trust someone with our story, and described Garbus as a seasoned director whose work I've long admired. Meghan conceded that allowing Garbus to direct meant that the series may not be the way we would have told it. But that's not why we're telling it. We're trusting our story to someone else, and that means it will go through their lens. Public image and style. Between 2010 and 2012, Markle anonymously ran the blog The Working Actress, which detailed the pitfalls and triumphs of struggling to make it in Hollywood. In 2014, she founded her own lifestyle blog, The Tig, which posted articles about food, fashion, beauty, travel, and inspirational women. The viewing audience consisted primarily of the fans of Markle and Suits. Promotion of the blog on other social media platforms targeted 3 million followers on Instagram, 800,000 on Facebook, and 350,000 on Twitter. In April 2017, the Tig closed. In January 2018, she took all articles offline and deleted her social media accounts. It is estimated that Markle's social media activities annually earned her about zero from endorsements and sponsorships. She was also known for socializing at Soho House. Markle became known through the Tig for her fashion sense, releasing 2 fashion collections with Canadian clothing company Reitmans in 2015 and 2016. The lines were based on her personal style and that of her Suits character. Markle has cited Emmanuel Alt as her style inspiration. In 2016, she hosted USA Network's video series Power Lunch with Meghan Markle in collaboration with Lexus and Eater, discussing the culinary inspirations of 5 different New York kitchens. Markle was featured in the cover story for the October 2017 issue of Vanity Fair and the December 2017 issue of Elle France. Shortly after her engagement to Prince Harry in 2017, she caused a surge of interest in Scottish retailer Strathberry after carrying one of its handbags to a public event. This was reported as an indication that her fashion choices would produce results similar to the Kate Middleton effect. After Markle and Prince Harry's first appearance as a couple, brands Mackage, Burke's, R&R Jewelers, Crown Jewelers, and Everlane noted an upswing in their website hits and sales. It was speculated that Markle's effect would be broader internationally because she already had a strong American appeal. Consequently, the United States saw a boost in yellow gold jewelry sales in the first quarter of 2018. In 2018, Tatler included Meghan with other senior royal women on its list of Britain's best dressed people. Following the announcement of her pregnancy, she appeared in a Karen G dress that resulted in the Australian designer's website crashing. Fashion website Net-a-Porter ranked Meghan as one of the best-dressed women in 2018. She was nominated for the 2018 Teen Choice Awards in the category Choice Style Icon. In 2019, British brand Rias reported a growth in profits after Meghan was seen wearing a mini dress by them on International Women's Day. In 2022, the black Armani dress worn by Meghan during her opera interview was selected by the Fashion Museum, Bath, as Dress of the Year 2021. In the same year, Meghan was featured in the cover story for the 2022 fall fashion issue of The Cut. In 2018, Time magazine selected Meghan as one of the 100 most influential people in the world and placed her on its shortlist for Person of the Year. Her name appeared again on the listicle in 2021, and she and her husband were featured on one of the magazine's 7 worldwide covers. In 2019, the magazine named Meghan and Harry among the 25 most influential people on the Internet. She was also chosen as one of the 25 most influential women in the United Kingdom by British Vogue magazine in 2018, 2019, and 2021. Her influence was also recognized in both the 2019 and 2020 editions of Powerlist, the 100 most influential Britons of African and Afro-Caribbean descent. In 2022, she was named as one of the 50 women changing the world over the past year by Worth magazine. In the same year, Variety named her as a stellar honoree for its Power of Women issue. Court cases. Other cases and complaints. In November 2016, the Mail Online was criticized for running an article on Markle's family background titled "Almost Straight Outta Compton," which triggered a response from Prince Harry's communications secretary. In the same month, The Sun ran the headline "Harry Girls on Pornhub." The outlet denied any smear after it was revealed that the clips were illegally uploaded scenes from the TV series Suits and not pornographic material. They subsequently apologized via an official statement in February 2017. In February 2018, a letter containing white powder and a racist note addressing Markle was sent to St. James's Palace, triggering counter-terrorism and racist hate crime investigations by Scotland Yard. Meghan and Harry obtained a formal apology in May 2019 from the Splash News for privacy invasion. The couple had a legal warning issued to the press in general in January 2020 after the publication of paparazzi photographs. In March 2020, the couple took Splash UK to court after Meghan and her son were photographed without permission in Canada during a private family outing. The case was settled later that year, with Splash UK agreeing to no longer take unauthorized photos of the family. The Duke and Duchess announced in April that they would no longer cooperate with the Daily Mail, the Sun, Daily Mirror, and Daily Express. They won an apology in October from American news agency X17 for taking photographs of their son at their home using drones. In March 2021, ITV News reported the Duchess had complained directly to ITV CEO about Piers Morgan's comments on mental health following her interview with Oprah Winfrey. Ofcom received over 57,000 complaints about the program, including one from the Duchess of Sussex. In the same month, it was reported that an American private investigator unlawfully handed over personal details about Meghan to the Sun, including her social security number, cell phone number, and address when she first started dating Harry in 2016. Meghan and her husband condemned the predatory practices of the British tabloids, while the Sun stated that the investigator was instructed clearly in writing to act lawfully, and they did not use the information he provided for any unlawful practice. In July 2021, the Duchess filed legal complaints against the Times for two separate articles, with the first one covering an unproven allegation from Robert Lacey's book that she had left an engagement in Fiji for not being appointed by UN Women as a goodwill ambassador, and the second one claiming that the Duke and Duchess. In January 2022, the couple mutually file a legal complaint against the Times for an article reporting on Archua raising less than zero in 2020. In the same month, she complained to the BBC regarding their five-part podcast Harry, Meghan and the Media, in which the presenter Amal Rajan stated that the Duchess had apologized for misleading the Court of Appeal in her case against the Mail on Sunday. The BBC responded by issuing a statement on its corrections and clarifications website to emphasize that she had apologized to the court for not remembering email exchanges. In March 2022, her half-sister, Samantha Markle, sued Meghan by filing a defamation lawsuit in Florida, accusing her of lying in the Oprah interview and disseminating false statements via her communications secretary for the book Finding Freedom, and sought damages in excess of $5,000. Meghan's lawyers described the lawsuit as a continuation of a pattern of disturbing behavior. In a response filed in May 2022, Meghan's attorneys argued that her half-sister's claims were demonstrably false and the statements made by Meghan during the opera interview were either non-actionable opinion or substantially true. They also added that the alleged defamatory statements Samantha had referred to either were true or could not be found in Finding Freedom or in the emails that Meghan had sent to her communications secretary, for which Meghan could not be held accountable under Florida's 2-year statute of limitations and due to the fact that she did not write the book herself. In June 2022, Meghan's initial motion to dismiss the case was rejected by a judge following amendments made by Samantha in her complaints. She filed a second motion in the same month, stating that the deletion of numerous specific factual allegations and exhibits from her original complaint combined with the lack of fact had undermined Samantha's case, and argued a judge or jury would not be able to pass judgments about the state of their relationship. Meghan's lawyers have argued that her comments regarding her upbringing in the interview were unfalsifiable and subjective statements of her feelings, rather than objective facts. In August 2022, and in an interview with The Cut, Meghan recalled being told at the premiere of The Lion King in London by a South African cast member that following her marriage to Harry, people in South Africa rejoiced in the streets the same we did when Mandela was freed from prison. Meghan was criticized by Mandela's grandson Mandla Mandela for reciting the story, who stated that his grandfather's release from prison after overcoming 350 years of colonialism with 60 years of a brutal apartheid regime in South Africa could not be compared to the celebration of somewhat. John Canny, the only South African cast member of The Lion King, later stated that he did not recall meeting the Duchess and claimed there were no big celebrations in South Africa at the time of the wedding. Lebo M., the film's South African composer who was at the London premiere, revealed that he had spoken to Meghan for less than a minute and could not remember discussing Mandela with her. In the same interview, Meghan spoke of the reason behind her refusal to share photos of her children with the royal rota, claiming that she would not share it with the people who allegedly call her children the N-word, a claim that was disputed by British journalists. Bullying allegations and opera interview. In 2021, shortly before the Duke and Duchess were due to be interviewed by Oprah Winfrey, The Times reported that the Duchess's former communications secretary, Jason Knopf, complained in October 2018 that her conduct at Kensington Palace had caused 2 personal assistants to quit and had undermined the morale of a 3rd employee, prompting an investigation by Buckingham Palace into the bullying allegations. The palace hired an external law firm to examine the claims, with 10 aides reported to cooperate with the review. Criticism of the Duchess for twice wearing earrings gifted from Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in 2018, after he was accused of complicity in the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, appeared at the same time. Her representatives denied her awareness of the accusations against Mohammed bin Salman and said the Times was being used by Buckingham Palace for a smear campaign against her. In an updated epilogue for the couple's unauthorized biography, Finding Freedom by Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand, the authors claimed that 2 of the individuals mentioned in Knopf's email asked for any allegations made to HR about their experiences with Meghan to be rescinded. Speaking on behalf of the Duchess in a BBC documentary, Jenny Afea, a lawyer who represents Meghan in her case against A&L, stated that the bullying allegations were just not true. In June 2022, The Times reported that the results from the inquiry made Buckingham Palace modify some of the policies and procedures in its HR department, but the report would not be published to ensure the privacy of those who took part in it. The television special Opera with Meghan and Harry was broadcast on CBS on March 7, 2021. Meghan spoke about her personal and royal life and public pressure. She discussed contemplating suicide during her time as a working royal and talked about a perceived lack of protection for her and her son while being part of the royal institution. There was a wide and polarized reaction to the interview. Titles, styles, and arms. Meghan became a princess of the United Kingdom upon her marriage to Prince Harry, entitled to the style of Royal Highness. After her marriage, she was styled Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. She also holds the titles of Countess of Dumbarton and Baroness Kilkeel. She is the first person to hold the title Duchess of Sussex. Following the Duke and Duchess's decision to step back from royal duties in 2020, the couple agreed not to use the style of Royal Highness in practice, but still legally retains the style.
Thank you for watching. Consider supporting the channel, leave a like and subscribe.